Hey, we're back, and today I'm doing another special What the is that episode, which I'm kind of going to probably change the name of it to be more suitable for YouTube friendliness. So let's just say, call it Moron with the Facts. Moron for today. So today, last time we talked about the what the hell is pretty much a mezcal. Today, in honor of IPA Day, which by the time this comes out will be 3 weeks already. So August 5th is IPA Day, and there's a reason behind it. Legend has it is apparently is a day where IPA was officially introduced to the world. Don't know why. I don't know if that's fact to that.
That's not made up. That sounds made up.
We're gonna try to crack down what exactly is an IPA. A lot of people don't really know what it is, and a lot of people really hate it. Mainly due to the fact that the overwhelming of the hops. Every time I'll talk to people about IPAs or try to get them interested in IPAs, I usually tell them if they like grapefruit. It's a good indication on where that route's going. If they like that bitterness from a grapefruit, they might like an IPA. Even though they do make grapefruit IPAs, which we'll talk about that later on. So let's just step it back here and go down the history of it. So let's talk about the legend first. The legend of IPA. The legend of IPA starts from 1700s. So the 1700s, the British English pretty much occupied India, and they had all the military bases there. And by that time, the big drink that they drank over there was actually stouts and porters. Stouts and porters, they can last a good trip. They can handle the seas, they can handle the weather change. But they learned while they were down there that it's too damn hot to drink a stout or porter down there in India.
It's so damn hot.
And they wanted something lighter, something more that they could handle at that time. So legend has it that they started to, a guy named George Hopkins, a Bow Brewery, decided to make a pale ale. He technically, or legend has it, created the first pale ale, which is a much lighter aroma of the stout or porter, which is something that you can drink during a hot summer day. So he decided he made these beers specifically for the people and British soldiers in India. To survive the trip, they had to add extra hops to it so it won't spoil across the seas. Now, that's where the definition of IPA comes from. It's true? Of course it's not. There's a little bit more to it, but as Liberty Valent would say,
when the legend becomes fact, print the legend.
But in actuality, it's a little bit more complex how IPA came about. So yes, George Hopkins did technically create the pale ale, which you can still argue he didn't really, because there was pale ales before long that. Before all that, someone else was already making pale ales. He just manufactured in a mass capacity, and he was just a giant company at the time to do so. So he created it, and around 1700s he started shipping these type of beers to India. Now it took decades, I'm talking about decades of like trial and error to try to survive the rough sea. So the question is, how can you take a pale ale barrel, take it through the sea, because keep in mind, these boats can only have cellar temperatures. That's as cold, and the coldest they can get is about 50 degrees. And that's until you reach the equator, because you have to go around the Horn of Africa to get to India. Once you get past that, I mean, everything starts getting hot. Some beers start getting spoiled. They were losing half a shipment, quarter shipments, and sometimes the beer just tasted like crap in general. So around 1760s, they finally started tweaking. All right, let's just add. Initially, the reason why they added the extra hops wasn't for it to survive the trip. It was more to kill the bacteria that was building up inside of it, and so it was kind of surviving the trip, and also to make it more, as mentioned, as fresh as they can to survive the trip. And then once it got there, the legend has it as well. It says an Indian fell in love with it, and it became the Indian conglomerate of the world. Not true. Actually, Indians hated the Pale Ale. Indians despise it. It was really made for the British soldiers. The British soldiers felt love for it. They enjoyed it, but they didn't really like see much of a difference of it. They felt like it was tolerable for them at the time, and pretty much just one of those. You get what you can.
It'll get you drunk.
But fast forward around the early 1800s, things were starting to pick up. People started to try as is the Indian Pale Ale at the local pubs and stuff in England, and the craze started happening. So soon people started realizing they didn't like porters anymore. Yeah, it can't be too hot for a stout. Started messing with the Pale Ales. It got so popular to the point where they started like just aiming these marketing schemes. Evans Ale, more notorious about it, called it Indian Ready Pale Ale, meaning it was Indian ready to ship to India because of the extra hops. It wasn't yet be called an IPA yet. And it was catered to the gentlemen's. It was the gentleman's beer, is what they call it. It was the high class beer. It was their version of a champagne. IPAs became extremely popular, especially in America. And then again, we're still in the 1800s. In America, they like theirs a little bit more hoppier, extra hoppier than the Britons. So they added more hops to them, and the popularity became it. And that's when they dubbed the IPA. So it was IPA ready beer. But something happened. World War I. So in the early 20th century, World War I happened. There was a grain shortage. Clearly, the other stuff had to come along before they could make these beers. There was priorities involved. There was food, MREs, and stuff that had to be made. So beer got pushed aside in Britain. For America, Prohibition happened. And so when Prohibition happened, people were too busy bootlegging whiskey and stuff to even worry about beer. When beer was getting thrown down this drainage, every which way you go, there was nowhere to be found. So after all that came about, IPAs kind of just disappeared. British kind of lost a taste for it. They prefer something lighter, and that split it up to two grains. So we got the American Pale Ale and the Britain Pale Ale. The Britain Pale Ale is a lot more tamer IPA. It's 5% or under. As the American version, it's usually between 6 to 7%. But so it just varies on that point. But again, the Britons kind of lost some flavor for it. They wanted something lighter, and then went back to porters and stouts. It wasn't until what they call the craft renaissance. The craft renaissance happened in the early 1990s, and it happened in the good old California. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to start talking about the different versions of IPAs. IPAs, there is 9 types. They changed the IPA 9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
IPA comes from a great line, and it's because very specific at that point too. Because now you're just nitpicking, because now you're going by grains and different types of hops and all that stuff. We're not getting that complex. I don't really have the time, and I don't feel like doing the research for it. We'll do the basic 9 basic IPAs. So for the first 9 is the West Coast IPA, the New England IPA, which is now called the Haze IPA. You got the double IPA, your triple IPA, your black IPA, your Belgian IPA, and your seasonal IPA, and your grapefruit IPA. Those last 3 are interchangeable, meaning especially the grapefruit and the seasonal. Those that technically are British Pale Ales, and because the alcohol content is 5% or low, and it's really just a cheat. A lot of people don't even consider the black or the Belgian IPAs because now you go into a different type of beer, like a Belgian beer. They just added extra hops to attract the IPA crowd. Same with the black IPA. Black IPA is just a porter with extra hops. But it still falls in that range of family just because it has that hoppy taste to it at the end. But we're gonna stick to the basic 4 right now. And so the basic 4 is pretty easy to remember. I got 4 examples here that I'll shout. One of these I already reviewed on this channel, which is the Stone Cold IPA. West Coast IPA. Stone Cold, we're going to do use an example of the Stone Cold IPA from El Segundo Brewery. I reviewed it already. This is one of my favorite IPAs at the moment. And it's just a basic West Coast IPA with alcohol content of about 6%. It is hoppy. It's very strong. I enjoyed it a lot. Is it expensive? Yes. But as you can see, we're going to do a little comparison of color here because the colors do change. You can see the darkness, the lightness of it. I'll try my best here, okay? Right off the bat, you can see the lightness of it. It's a light IPA, West Coast. So West Coast IPA, what it actually entails is the West Coast IPA focuses more on the flavor and taste and the smell, the aroma of it. They want you to smell the grapefruit. They want you to smell the hops, the grains, and it wants to look pretty. They don't focus on the color of it. That's comes like that. You're gonna meet that with their partner, the New England IPA. But the West Coast IPA more focuses on the actual the scent of it, the taste of it, and it wants it to look pretty. So it's a beautiful looking beer. It's very clear, very light. It looks refreshing, and I'm pretty sure it tastes refreshing. And you know what? I'm gonna take a little break here because that's just so beautiful. Look at that. On hot days like this beer will hit the spot. Next up to compare, we are doing the New England IPA. Funny enough, this is from Parish Brewing Company, which is out of Louisiana. But again, once you become heading towards the West Coast and the Midwest, stuff like that, New England IPA has a new name. It's called the Haze IPA. The Haze IPA, New England IPA, compared to the counterpart, which as you can tell, it's clear, they start getting the color aspect of it. And the whole thing is the juicier, the better. If it looks like orange juice, perfect. That's the grade A, beautiful New England IPA. And that's what they focus on. They focus on the color of the beer. I've seen beers, Spindle Tap is a good example that makes those type of beers. Spindle Tap and Baba Brewery, around here in this local area, I've been pros at making New England IPAs, especially double and triple. And they work on the color of it. Like they really, really go off the color of the beer. It damn near looks like Sunny D half the time. One of my favorite ones that they need to bring back, so Spindle Tap hears me, bring it back, will be the Mortal Kombat beer. I think it was called Fatality IPA. And that one was made with hops and blood orange. So damn beer looked red as fuck. It was delicious. I need to bring it back. The artwork was amazing. I'm pretty sure they got copyright after a while. So let's compare this right here. So this is what actually, before I get ahead of myself, this is actually the Ghost in the Machine from Parish Brewing Company. And it's actually one of my favorite Haze IPAs. I mean, no slack to Spindle Tap. I do like a lot, especially the wrestling moves, mainly because of the artwork. But two reasons. One, Spindle Tap does limited releases. They're hard to find. I was looking to find this one, which is a double IPA. We'll get to it in a minute. But they're really hard to find. They really have to go up to the crowd, and I wasn't going to have all over the Umbo to pick it up. I'm sorry. Next time, maybe. And this was easy to get a hold of. And this actually is, in fact, is one of my favorite Haze IPAs. And a lot of people's favorite Haze IPAs. So I suggest you try it. I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of people that I've known prefer the New England IPA over the basic West Coast IPA because of the juice, because it tastes more citrusy. It actually tastes like orange juice. It actually tastes like something that they can enjoy on a hot day. It is good. It does make non-IPA people like IPAs. I've seen it. I've given this to people who don't generally like IPAs, and they think, well, this is tolerable enough. This is real good. This doesn't even taste like a beer. And so, what they're doing with the New England IPA is pretty unique. And again, this started in literally New York, upstate New York, around the mid '90s, and it didn't become a big giant boom until fucking like 6-7 years ago. It just became this giant sweat. Because it's going on to this day. People still making New England IPA, double IPAs, triple IPAs. I even seen a quadruple IPA. Brash, I'm looking at you because y'all made it, and I want to try it. I haven't tried it yet because they sell out fucking fast. But one day I'll get a hold of it. But look, you can automatically see the different color of this beer. Now again, there's other beers that look more orange juice than this. I think I reviewed one on this channel that looks like a damn orange juice, which is from Baba Brewery. but this is still pretty orangey. And off the back, I wish I can give you you can smell it. Just the smell of it, it just overwhelms you. It just comes out of the bottle real quick. And this is a beautiful beer. Look at it. It's just like orange juice in a glass. And I mean, I enjoy it a lot. So a lot of people, again, hate IPAs, but this is a good way to turn people who don't like IPAs to like IPAs. It's just give them a New England IPA. I have a friend that's the only thing he ever drinks that has an IPA on it. Another brewery that makes a good New England IPA is Eighth Wonder. The Cloud 8 is extremely well. It's extremely cheap. Because the thing about New England IPAs is a little bit more expensive to make. Especially if you go into Mosaic Hop and Galaxy Hop. That's, again, a whole nother venture. Just like how they have different strains of marijuana and different strains of mezcal and all that stuff. There's different strains of hops. And now you're just diving into that culinary aspect of beer. But this is a good little basic run right here. And oh, that's good. Spindle Tap. They're the king of IPAs around here, honestly. Not taking any away from you, Baba, but Spindle Tap is, if you go to their brewery, it's pretty much half the damn lineup is IPAs. But different types, because I don't want to get shit on by the folks love it. They do have different types of IPAs and different styles, different flavors, really. You really, again, you can literally there's a book you can read how different each strain is and how it can change the aspect of an IPA. But this one here is a double IPA, which, yes, it means just more hops to it. But it also sometimes it changes the color and the aroma of it as well. It does not change the alcohol content, despite what people believe. You won't get that to the triple IPA. So double IPA usually ranges from like 7% to 8%, sometimes 9%. But it doesn't drastically change it, despite what people believe. Like Hopdillo is a double IPA, but it's only, I think, 7-8%. So just because it's called a double IPA does not necessarily mean it's a stronger beer. It just means it has more hops. And the reason people made a double IPA is, again, early 90s, man. They just wanted something hard or something grungy or something just put that bitter face into it, and people like it. Including me. I'm one of them. But so here we go. And I'm sorry, by the way, this is Spindle Tap One Love. And look at this, compare to this and this. So we're gonna do a quick comparison. One Love by Spindle Tap, Ghost in the Machines, and the Stone Cold IPA. Because this is not as dark as this. This is double IPA. So again, it just, once again, the double IPA does not necessarily mean it's stronger. It doesn't necessarily mean it will make it darker. Sometimes it does if there intentionally is a New England double IPA. This is just a basic regular double IPA. So the color content does make it a little bit hazy, like the Haze or New England IPA, but it's not exactly the Haze IPA. Now, honestly, this will be my first time drinking a One Love, so I'm gonna do a quick review on it right quick. Love IPA, and if you can look at it, it's a good little line on there. Oh, that's good. That's real good. Really, really smooth. The smell is not as potent as the Ghost in the Machines, but it's extremely smooth. The hops is it's there. You can barely taste it. It is super dry though. It kind of like a red wine type aspect where it gets stuck in the back of your throat. But it's extremely, extremely, extremely good. Now, we're getting into the triple IPA. Now, the triple IPA is, well, it's its own deal. Again, common sense will tell you it's triple the hops. But this time around, that does change the alcohol content of it. Normally, these will range between 12 to 13%. I have seen it as high as 15%, and it's really one of those you have to like it. There's no like baby fitting about it or here, try this to a newcomer. You really have to enjoy it. It's last I've had a triple IPA was, I think Brash had one. And again, it really is it's stout. It's very strong, and it's not for everybody. It really is not for everybody. This is one of those you make it, you break it type thing, but they're more brownish. So you're gonna see that here in a minute. So once you get into the triple aspect, it becomes more brown. I wish my glass wasn't so dirty. Alright, so now you can see the difference of that. So if you notice how all these are gold to golden haze, the triple IPA is more brown, like a lager. And that's because, again, they triple the hops, and that usually causes a big fermentation in the thing where it just soaks up all the alcohol and it just becomes its truest form. And that's pretty much what just stands out for this. And that's usually how people get confused with is it Belgian or not. And again, they do have a Belgian IPA and a black IPA, which, as I said before, those aren't technically IPAs. Those are pretty much just porters and Belgians. They just add extra hops to it to get the IPA name on it. And seasonal IPA is pretty much a British pale ale in the lamest term, because it's 5% or lower, and usually more calmer, tamer things. Like I said, St. Arnold's has the Art Car and the Pub Crawl, which is the seasonal IPA, and it's pretty good. It's really good on hot ass days. I give them credit for that. I'm not a fan of the Art Car. I can do the Pub Crawl though. Oh, never mind. So clean. Ooh. This one has a very unique. The barley on this one really stands out. Extremely stands out. Wow. I can feel that one already. I can feel it. Like I said, it's not for everybody. This really has a more harsher taste. It's extremely smooth in my opinion, but you can taste the alcohol real well. If I want to give you a quick advice on what to drink for people who not necessarily don't like IPAs or willing to try IPAs. I mean, nothing says nothing like just trying something new. For people who don't really like IPAs and they're willing to try, or you have a friend that doesn't like IPAs, but you want them to try something. Because I'm always a firm believer as everybody, there's always a beer for somebody. You will find a beer that somebody will like. It's not impossible. I've done it 1,000 times. You just got to find the right one. New England IPA is the greatest beer for novelists who doesn't like IPAs, because it doesn't taste like an IPA. It tastes like an orange juice. Especially if you get those double triples. They do sneak up on you, so be careful. But those are a good way to get those people lured into the IPA world. If you already like IPAs, but you want something light that won't overfill you up or get you too drunk too quick, like I said, the Stone Cold IPA is currently my favorite IPA. Only downside to it, and I've said it before in the other channel, is it is a little expensive, at least around here. I don't know how much it is up there. Around here, for about a 4-pack, it's like $13. St. Arnold's making a list, which is really good. It's $8 for a 6-pack. And there's other breweries that make pretty good. You can go to Howler Brewery. They have a good IPA, basic. For a crowd, it's like $8. Crowd is like a 32-ounce can, and that's pretty much 3 beers. So, I mean, you got your options, and then these two are just for the good and love of the nation of IPAs. You just want to get fucked up. Have some flavor to it though. You got your double, your triple. Between these two, quite honestly, I enjoy the triple more. The double is like, if I'm gonna do a double, there is no change in alcohol content. I might as well go triple so I can get my money's worth. So that's just my 2 cents on that aspect. So I prefer the triple over the double. And these two, I can't. Oh, these are my 2 favorite. I'm pretty sure I butchered the story. I'm trying my best not to rush through it. It's just, this is all doing to me. I'm having more fun doing it now. But there will be a quick channel change here. Change the format just a little bit. I'm gonna try to do more of these. And go from there. I'll probably explain it more on the podcast. Well, I'm gonna do it here soon. So with that being said, my friends, happy IPA day, even though by the time you watch this, it'll be long gone. August 5th. Happy IPA day. Get you a glass of whatever you want. Enjoy it. The British loved it. We fought for it. We should enjoy it. God bless. Drink safe, drink smart, drink responsibly.